let me know down in the chat, okay? I want to know how are the energies treating you guys. I really want to know, okay? All right, let me know how y'all doing, how y'all feeling, what's the vibe down in the chat. How are the energies treating y'all? Let me know, okay? Alrighty, so today we are going to be doing personal readings because I told y'all yesterday that we might come on here and do a collective reading, but the energies are the same as the same readings that we have been getting for the last few days. So, and last couple weeks about this energy and these musky moon rabbits, right? So I don't want to read, yeah, all these energies try to leave you out in the cold. I really don't want to read about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like talking about it. We've been talking about it for a minute now. We've been talking about how God 111, how God is coming through and bringing judgment upon the situation. Okay, I don't really feel like we need to discuss that any further. So if you were not live with us a couple days ago on TikTok, that is okay. That live will be posted shortly. There's about 2 videos. I think I might post the entire video. For the one that got banned, I'm posting that entire video. And then the other one, I might just post the reading. It depends. I'm just waiting for them to download. Okay, from TikTok. You guys know if it's over an hour long, it takes a while. Confirmation burp. Okay, so please be patient for those. They will be up on YouTube as soon as they finish downloading and I finish editing whatever needs to be editing, and putting in the intro and the outro for my channel, right? If you don't know my intro is literally I'm unstoppable, and then the outro is like some just background music with the picture of Big Bang Theory, right? I don't know if you guys get the reference. I call us the Brainy Bunch, right? I do love Big Bang Theory a lot. I am myself a nerd. I don't really care, right? I like being intellectual. I don't know about you guys, but I like being intellectual. So I don't have a problem with it, right? Um, I like the Big Bang Theory, you know what I'm saying? And so that's honestly where my inspiration came from for the Bunch, okay? Also, the Brady Bunch, so I took those two shows and I was like, yeah, the Brainy Bunch, okay? We're gonna be the Brainiacs, period. Right? Because that's just how I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm always coming up with some weird catchphrase. Okay, that's just how I am, guys. Um, right? When I start saying Buki, right? I start saying Buki with a B, not a P, right? I don't say Pookie, I say Buki, right? There's a couple reasons for that. One is one is boo key. Okay, like okay, that's my boo. Okay, and then the other reason is like, the other reason is boo jump scare. So literally, Buki can like mean different things for me, to be honest. So it's just this is how it is, and y'all see I have like different meanings for the cards and stuff. Like any of my aces are the creme de la creme. Okay. You'll be my Buki. No, thank you, Buki. Okay. Right. So literally, that's why I say that one instead. Because I know everybody like be saying Pookie and stuff like, but I don't know. I just can't follow trends. I gotta be original with it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, we not doing the P. It's the B now. All right. That's just, all right. I think No, literally, anytime I start saying something, either two people like love to like be like, oh, that actually sounds good. Let me use that. Promise you, I started seeing people use. I don't know where I was at. It was so funny. I had made a post about it because I was like on one of these sites, and I was just like, it was probably when I was like posting something on Threads, when I was posting something on Threads for you guys, and like I was like seeing like some comment on another thread, and I was like, did they say Buki in their chat? I was like, oh my god. And I've been saying Buki for like a year or so. I used to say home slice a lot too, right? And then everybody started using it again, and then I was like, oh no. No, thank you. Right. What was that? I was in like 7th grade. Nobody was saying home slice like that when I was in 7th grade, y'all. I started saying home slice to all my friends. It was raps. It was raps. After that, everybody started saying home slice, and I'm like, dang. And y'all know, I really don't care because it's fun. It's just funny because it's like, you know, you try to do something like authentically, right? And then how so many other people will try to do like jump on that wagon, and it's like, guys, I wanted to do this because I personally found it funny, and I wanted to say it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing this to be cool or anything. I just personally found it funny and was like, I'm gonna say this. You know, like. That's, if you find me saying weird catchphrases, like what was I saying? My ace card. If you when I none of these are aces, but when I pull up the ace card, y'all know I say creme de la creme. Whenever I pull an ace out of my tarot deck, I say creme de la creme. Why? Because ace is the best of the best in the deck to me. That's my interpretation. That is the interpretation that the Lord has guided me to on that card. You know, all tarot readers have different interpretations within the deck as they're learning, right? There's specific meanings that the Lord has in that deck for them, right? Like certain cards, I'm gonna say the swords cards, the queen and the knight and the queen and the king of swords. It has a picture of God Shiva on it, right? That's something specifically I would pick up on, as God Shiva is one of my spirit guides, right? So God Shiva is the god of destruction. Okay. Oh, here's Ace. Right, creme de la creme, right? So that's my God Shiva card. So whenever I see that, right, I'm like, oh, God Shiva is in the house, right? And he's not the god of chaos, he's the god of destruction, right? Destruction is same thing as creation. You know what I'm saying? You got to destroy things in order to create things. The old has to go so the new can come in, right? You're from Brazil, period. Welcome in to see our Soul Tribe family from all over the world, okay, period. As we are here to create world peace, so I love to see our Soul Tribe. Alrighty. Oh, that's the Pentacles. I was gonna say, is that the one? No. All over, period. Right? So yeah, I don't know. Y'all know I got no. What I was gonna say is I don't classify myself as normal. I have a lot of quirks, right? I have a lot of things that you notice and pick up on, right? Is that Portuguese, hon? I don't speak Portuguese. One day, but not today, hon. Yeah. Yo hablo un poquito español, but no Portuguese. I don't know. I want to learn a few different languages. I mean, I want to learn like the main languages first, right? Like the big ones first, and then dive into other ones, right? Big ones first, because those are the ones that I'm going to teach my kids from a young age. Like, young. He says young age means like literally out the womb. Okay. You can't speak English. That's okay. It's like that. Probably just because English is stupid, but I know it's my primary language, and I do think it's stupid. Oh, you can add a Q&A sticker? Guys, I'm still learning. Let me see. I want to try this. I don't like that though. How do you like your eggs? Seriously, is that a Q&A question? Does any I eat my eggs however I eat my eggs, you know? Any way is kind of good. I've never had a poached egg. Uh egg no, I've had eggs benedict. Uh what's that one? Is that eggs in a basket? Never had that. Yeah, that's about it. Maybe some other cultural dishes with egg in it, right, that I haven't had. But from I mean, most common, you know, I've had my eggs that way, so I don't really have a preference, guys. I just like eggs. You know what I'm saying? I just like eggs. Okay. Alrighty. Probably the hardest thing for me about trying to do like I cleanse my body at least 3 times a year, alkaline vegan, but I still do more like a vegetarian with like a lean meat, like it's not like fatty meats and stuff like that. That's where I am at on that. Okay, so honestly, like I tell you guys, you don't have to be perfect as a spiritualist, right? As long as you're really, you're making the effort to grow, learn, and evolve, right? No one is expecting you to get to an alkaline vegan and you've only been on your spiritual journey for less than a year, right? I've been on my spiritual journey since 2020. I've tried the vegan thing, okay? It lasts for a while, and then a while I'm like, okay, actually, no, I'm losing a lot of weight and a lot of nutrition out of my body. I can't do this right now, right? Also, in America, veganism is very expensive unless you're gonna grow your own plants. Okay, so that's why I tell you guys, just do, okay, just take care of your bodies, take care of your vessels, but you don't have to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? Um, I respect animals. If I'm gonna eat an animal, I respect it like my ancestors did, my Native American ancestors, right? I pray over those animals, right? I honestly believe if you are humane towards what you eat, right? You aren't, it won't be trapped negative energies. That's the main reason spiritualists don't really like eating meat, is because of how it is prepared. A lot of these people who produce these meats in these big grocery stores, right, they are not doing this in a humane way where these animals are treated like like they matter. You know what I'm saying? They're treated like herd cattle. They're just treated like dirt, and then they're offed in a inhumane way that leaves their bodies scared and tense. Okay, right? Spirit said justice. That leaves their body scared and tense, and right when if you perish in your flight or fight mode, right, your body literally tenses all the way up. It's the same thing for an animal. Our nervous system literally works the same way as theirs. If they're scared and terrified before they're ending, before they get off to be a meal for somebody, right, that affects the entire meat, right? That infects their soul, that infects the energy that you are consuming, right? It infects the entire meal. Now you have to alchemize the things that are in that meat. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say, as a spiritualist, you could eat whatever you want as long as you alchemize the energy of the food, right? As long as you aren't putting fake products in your body, you know what I'm saying? Like these lab manufactured products in your body, you'll be fine. Okay, seriously, like you'll be fine as a spiritualist. Okay, you don't have to rush to get to the alkaline vegan diet. Okay, it's a very hard diet, okay, because it's a very strict diet, right? And you have to do it correctly, or it's least beneficial to you than it would be if you're doing it the right way. Okay, alrighty. um especially if you're like me, if you got low iron and stuff like that, I would definitely see a nutritionist before participating in an alkaline vegan diet, right? You need to make sure that you're still getting everything that your vessel needs in order to be healthy. Okay, so don't just jump into the alkaline vegan diet without properly doing your research and knowing how to do and move forward with that, please. Okay, it's just like I said, seek medical advice if you don't know what you're doing, and you want to go into that. But like I said, you don't have to rush into that, and as well as you don't have to do it that way. Spirituality is not a religion, right? There's no one set of way to do it, right? Everybody is just expressing their soul. That's all spirituality is about, is being able to express your soul in the way that is true to self. Okay, empowering yourself, your soul, right? Doing what is for your soul's destiny, your journey here that God has brought you here for, right? That is what is important on when it comes to spirituality. Okay, not following a set of rules, not sticking to a diet, right? None of that is the essence of spirituality. It's just doing what makes your soul happy. Okay, that is why a lot of spiritualists shifted over. We realized we weren't doing what made us happy, right? We weren't living the lives that we were meant to live here, right? We noticed through a dark night of soul that this is not all there is to this life. Okay, suffering, poverty, hunger, starvation, what you call it, dehydration, just all these struggles that you see in the world, like that is not all there is to life. You know what I'm saying? There's so much more, right? There's so much more we could be doing, but there's so many boxes. You know what I'm saying? And that's what spirituality is there for, is to break out of those boxes, right? Because society really does place up a bunch of guards and tells you could do this or you could do that, you know what I'm saying, or you could do this or you could do that, right? But don't let it be something outside the box, because then it's like, whoa, we didn't say that was acceptable. And then it's like, bro, no. That's why spirituality is the way it is. Okay, it's not about being the perfect of the perfect. It's not about having a specific diet. You know what I'm saying? Yes, as spiritualists, we all know they poison the food. Okay, especially the United States of America. They poison the food the most, right? Okay, we all know this. We don't have to act like we don't know this. Act accordingly. That's all you have to do as a spiritualist. Act accordingly. Act like you have the self-awareness and and you can make the conscious decisions not to participate in those kind of things. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. That's all it is, right? Don't feel like you have to be somewhere or something you're not yet, right? Okay, I just want you guys to remember that. I feel like so many people try to push for you to have this I don't get into that. That reading is literally, I already know, spirit. If we get into that the energy you're talking about right there, we're just gonna be talking about these musky moon rabbits and what they've been doing the last few weeks. Okay. All right, and I told y'all I'm gonna be posting the TikTok video from the other day soon. Okay, that reading will be out soon. Basically what I'm talking about right now, right, with the with the message that spirit keeps trying to come through with the cards, that's literally what we just talked about. And I don't want to keep talking about these musky moon rabbits, right? Tricks are for kids. I don't know when they're gonna learn. Okay, that's another one of my sayings. If you all right, why I say musky moon rabbits, because tricks are for kids, right? These musky moon rabbits, they're immature, right? They're trying to get off on your energy. They're just weird, okay? All right. And when someone tries to destiny swap with you, what do you say? Swipe or no swiping. Swipe or no swiping. Yes, we are 100% saying swipe or no swiping. I don't care. All right. I wanted to ask a question, but I don't know what to ask. Let me see. It just says house. So let me think of a question for the collective. Huh. Let's think. Oh, that's the right way. I thought the cards flipped. What should we ask? What do I want to know? Well, I always want to know how you guys are doing, how you're feeling, and how the energies are treating you. You guys know that. I always want to know that. Okay, so if you want to let me know that, okay, just down there in the chat already, just let me know. I want to know. Let me think. I'm thinking of a question. Let's see. And I'll read them up here. So when you answer it, I'll read it, okay? Make sure it's in English, though, please. Let's think. Okay. What's your favorite angel number? And then done. And then I said, Isabella said she's in America and it's not bad. Well, I don't know what America you're in, Isabella, but the way this country looks right now, the United States of America, it's disgusting, right? It's honestly disgusting the way this country looks, right? So Gina, you are correct. C. America, America, but no, it's describing America is bad. All right, needs Jesus kind of help, right? All right, did that seriously. It needs Jesus kind of help. All right, so I want to know what your favorite angel number is. All right, examples are 555, 222, 333, 111. Those are some basic ones, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot more elaborate angel numbers if you ever seen more complicated angel numbers, or you know, like 7070. Okay, 1133. Okay, 2121, 3131. You know, things like that. There's always gonna be a what you call it, there's harder sequences and angel numbers to recognize versus just the basic ones where it's just a sequence, right? We call those a sequence. We call it a synchronicity. Okay, if it's a sequence of numbers, it's synchronicity. Okay, I do have a video on synchronicities. You can go check that out in my YouTube. Okay, alrighty. So yeah. All right, so I do want to know. Let me know. It says that your answer like will come down into the chat, so I'll read it out. So if you guys answer that question and we vibe with me, I want to know, what is your favorite angel number, or what is one that you see most commonly? Okay, what is one that Spirit shows you most commonly? Alrighty. All right. Yeah. No. I love. I'm sorry. I gotta talk about this for a sec. I really do gotta talk about this, guys. I don't pay a lot of attention to Matrix Society, but when I do pay attention to Matrix Society, all I see them doing is things they should not be doing at this time, right? At this time, if you are participating in anything that has to do with inequality, inequity, or wickedness, or just chaos in general, and you causing darkness around this world at this time, you are going on God's list. God is plucking people out of existence right now. I would not be participating in that stuff, right? These ICE agents that are going around and they're kidnapping people from their homes, their jobs, on the streets and from their cars. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how you're not seeing those videos on the internet when I barely pay attention to what's going on in major society, but somehow I'm seeing those videos. Okay, so the things that are going on in the United States of America is not okay. It's not okay at all. It's bad. Okay, taking people from their families, that's bad. That is disgusting. Okay, I just heard about somebody who was offed, who was literally taken from their family. Man dropped his kids off at school and daycare, was proceeding to head to work, and some ICE agents came out of nowhere and then murked him. They murked him, took his life. You know what I'm saying? No, guys, please do not hold on, how can I say this? Because I really want you guys to understand this. If you are in the United States of America right now, do not fool yourself into believing that anything that is going on right now is normal. Okay? Do not be the person that manipulates themselves into believing that what is going on in the United States of America is normal. Okay? Because at this point, ignorance is a sin. And if you do not figure that out for yourself, do not be mad at the wrath the Lord has. Okay? Because you need to be aware of that. And if you're not aware of it, that's a problem. That's not okay. How are you not aware of the things going on in the day-to-day society? Okay, you telling me it's normal for people to be scooped out of their homes, their jobs, they're off the street, taken to God knows where. Like, that's not okay at all. Okay, like it's not. All right. It's not okay what's going on in Gaza, right? It's not okay what Israel is trying to do. None of these things are okay. The things that are going on our planet today are not okay. Everything. There's not enough people standing up for it when there are billions of people on this planet. Okay? There are too many people on this planet for not the majority to be standing up. All right? 8.5 billion people on this planet, and there's still this many people suffering. How? How? Please explain that to me. How? How is that possible? That means there's too many people complacent. That's what that means. There's too many people who are complacent and ignorant in it, who are allowing this stuff to happen and slide by. And yeah, the judgment card just flew out when I talked about that. God is bringing judgment, okay? Y'all talking about Jesus come down and save us. A lot of y'all won't make it because y'all have not done anything on this planet to even help nobody else but yourself. You want Jesus to come down here for what? Because you're not going with Jesus. Like, what? Like, what do you, like, and you know, if it's, and guys, remember, if the shoe fits, wear it. If I'm not talking about you, I'm not talking about you. If you stand for something, you stand for world peace, you stand for a better life on this planet for everybody, not just for you, but for everybody. If that's what you truly stand for in your heart, and you're going to speak on it, and you're going to talk on it, and you're going to actually do moves and create action for it, I'm not talking about you. You know what I'm saying? If you are a serious human being who actually stands for something and doesn't just fall for anything, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the people who will fall for anything, that are the problem right now. Okay? The people that will fall for anything, ignorance is bliss. Sure, it's still a sin. You know what I'm saying? Hi Wyatt, how you doing? How you feeling? Let me know down in the chat how the energies are treating you, huh? Okay? And tell me what your favorite angel number or one that you've seen a lot is. I would like to know. Okay, but yeah, guys, that's like, when people say that, you know, the United States of America isn't that bad right now, I'm really like, you must be somebody who will fall for anything in my eyes, because no, people who will stand for anything right now in the United States of America are telling you that what's going on in the United States of America is not okay. Okay, it's not okay. It's not it's not a forward direction. It's a backwards direction. Okay, it's not how humanity should be moving forward whatsoever. Okay, the war in Gaza. That's not how humanity should be moving forward whatsoever. Okay. So an angel number would be like something you saw, like 111, 222, 333. Those are like easy synchronicities. Or if you see other angel numbers like 3737, 4141, you know, something that's unique to you could be just your birthday, you know, your month, and then the 2 days. Okay. There's signs and messages from your divine ancestral team and your divine spirit guide team, and the Lord, of course. You know what I'm saying? That's their direct messages from them that you have to uncode, for their deeper meanings and what they mean in your life. Okay. Yeah. Yep, I have more video. I have a video on my YouTube about synchronicities and angel numbers. So if you want to learn more about that, you can always go check out that video. But yeah, so if you never like paid attention before to them, because you probably seen them, like everybody usually sees the 1111, 1212. Like those are really common ones everybody talks about. Like everybody knows 1111, you know, make a wish, you know what I'm saying? So everybody knows what an angel number is and what a synchronicity is. It's just how much are you paying attention past that, just that surface level, you know what I'm saying? What is my channel about? We are building a community here for world peace. Okay, so we're gathering all of our soul tribe. We are awakening all the unawoken souls with the spiritual knowledge and wisdom that the divine holds. Okay, so I share a lot of spiritual wisdom with you guys through tarot, as well as just what the Lord has guided me to dive into with my research. Okay, so I share a lot of the things I have learned on my years, almost 6 years, my spiritual journey. Okay, yeah. Yep, and the more I grow, the more the channel grows, you know what I'm saying? So it's literally based off of how much I grow, right? It's the things I'm learning from the divine, as much knowledge and wisdom the divine will allow me access to, I will keep sharing with you guys, whether that's through tarot or just through the channel messages and the things that God guides me to dive into and research and learn about, right? So those are the things that we talk about on this channel. Okay, um you know, I want to make sure that you guys are in accordance with the Lord's will, right? So that you guys can live your destiny timeline. That's why I do the tarot, using my spiritual gifts, and eventually I will be talking more. I think I did like a short series on clairvoyancies, like different clairs abilities and different psychic abilities you could have, or you could be awakening to soon, right? It's really different, right? Some people have their gifts unlocked since they're a child, and it's really just life that messes with that real connection. And then some people messed up a lot in their past lives, and so it's locked away until they repay karma, and then they can unlock it and get it. What are these cards? The tarot cards that I was just talking about, hun. Okay, so the tarot cards, right? When I said I get you guys the divine spiritual wisdom and knowledge from the Lord, it's through the tarot cards. Okay, we channel the messages. We use the imagery to paint a bigger picture, a deeper imagery, so that it helps you to interpret and understand what it is the Lord needs you to know, so that you're in accordance with their will for their destiny, for your destiny timeline. Okay. All right, so that's what we use tarot for. And then the things that the Lord guides me to learn, that's the other part of the channel. Okay. I have multiple social media, so we are building a really big community, not just on YouTube, but on all, you know, like TikTok, Twitch, Instagram, okay? Red Note, because like I said, I don't trust these apps, guys. I don't trust these devices either. Like, I just don't trust Matrix Society, the government. No. Um okay. They've known about oh, that's awesome. I love that for you, Wyatt. Period. What is it gonna be about? Period. I love that for you guys. Seriously. Yeah, but I just don't, because you guys know, I don't know if you guys ever heard about that thing that happened with the it was like in Iran or something. It was a few months ago, maybe like 6 months ago or something, and they blew up the phones, right? They had the phones, and then they blew them up. It was crazy. I don't know if you guys ever heard that story. Like I said, I don't pay attention to much what Matrix Society is doing, but when I do zone in, I'm like, what is y'all even doing? Judgment immediately. Like, every time I zone in onto Matrix Society, I'm like, okay, let's see what Matrix Society is doing today. Judgment immediately. Okay, I'm leaving. Like, I'm out. Okay, I can't do this. Right? Every time. I can't, that's why I can't watch the news, guys. I can't watch the news because every time I go on the news, I'm going, judgment immediately. What? I rebuke that in the name of Jesus, and I bind it in the blood of Jesus. This is why I can't watch the news, because I'm always rebuking something in the name of the Jesus and always calling judgment on it, guys. And when I tell you, when I call judgment on something and I ask God to come bring judgment on a situation, God will come down and bring judgment on a situation. So your girl watching the news, all I'm gonna be sitting there doing is calling judgment the whole time. I'm like, musky moon rabbit, musky moon rabbit. You know, nobody is paying attention to what they're really doing and what they're really saying. But what you call you're mainly like FNAF and a few other fandoms. Period. Wyatt, that's awesome. I love that for you. I love FNAF. Okay, I'm sorry. I love FNAF. That's awesome. I growing up, I was into a lot of darker fantasies. Right. I don't know. I was maybe mentally disturbed at that age, very depressed. So therefore, you know, horror movies, horror shows, horror books, anything horror, it was appealing. Okay, I mean, I even wrote my own horror books. Okay, yes, I have books where people perish, people get murked on the daily. I have a book about a cartel, um about a cartel lord. I have books about like a psychopathic serial. Okay, yes, I've written books like that, because, you know, I don't know, just mentally disturbed child. I was definitely depressed, and what's I'm at risk for SH. Let's do that. And you also draw, period. Yes, I love that for you, Wyatt. And do I do live daily? I'm still working on a schedule for YouTube, because we just started being able to go live on YouTube, like few weeks ago, I believe. Yeah, a few weeks ago. So I'm still trying to come up with a schedule for YouTube, but on TikTok I do go live every day. So because of my injury, it's just that I've been trying to figure out a new live schedule and what we're gonna do going forward. But I still make an effort to be here as much as I can be, you know. That's why I'm in my bed and not at my desk. I'd rather be at my desk instead of my bed, guys. But that's cool. Okay. Yeah. Definitely. Hey, uh, personally for me, like, I don't believe in like a one niche kind of thing, which is why all my long form and my short form videos are spiritual knowledge, right, and spiritual wisdom that the Lord has guided me to learn, and indulge in, and things, you know, the Lord has channeled and downloaded to me, for your guys' betterment, for the collective betterment, right? So all those things are in the short form and long form videos. Like sometimes I take live highlights if it was important and it needs to, you know, be there, right? But for the long forms and short forms, that's basically the majority. Do I still post the tarot? Like, yes, because tarot is still a big part of what we do on this channel. You know what I'm saying? So yes, we are doing like the spiritual wisdom aspect of it, right? But tarot is also a big part because I like to use my spiritual gifts, okay? So, I don't know. I don't know why. I just let it be what it is. I'm grateful that you're here, you know what I'm saying? I just let it be what it is. I don't rush it cuz I know that whenever whenever we're supposed to have more people in here, that's when we'll have them, you know? So, I'm patient, okay? You say you don't know everything about the Bible, heaven and stuff. What do you mean? Cause we get into the Bible sometimes too, but we decode the Bible, right? I don't read the Bible to read the Bible for surface level. No, there's a lot more going on in the deeper context of the Bible, right? You got to look at the spiritual context of it. You got to look at the, you know, there's a lot of deeper meanings. There's a lot of synchronicities in the book, right? There's a lot of angelic coding in the book, right? There's a lot of things that you have to decipher. You can't just look at it for face value and be like, oh yeah, no, right? Because I promise you, you will leave this planet still not understanding that word. Okay. All right, you read that book you can read that book 5 million times and you will still not fully understand it because you didn't decode it. You know what I'm saying? They teach pastor, priest, popes how to decode the Bible, but they do not teach the average citizen that goes to church every Sunday how to read the Bible for real. Okay? They teach you what they teach it like it's like you get to know some stuff, but not all of the stuff. Okay. You never read the Bible. It's definitely an interesting read, right? There's a lot of things in there that if people would pay attention to certain things, they'd realize certain lessons are already taught, and you know, you could just learn the lesson without ever being having to live through it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you know, destiny swapping, Yasu and Jacob, Jacob and his mom, right, wanted to destiny swap Yasu's destiny, which was which is Yasu's dad. I forget his name right now, but you know what I'm talking about. Yasu's dad was supposed to Isaac, something along those lines. Was supposed to bless Yasu. That was his blessing. He was supposed to get all these miracles and everything. That's his blessing. His destiny was to get those blessings, right? Okay, here comes the mom. Okay, here comes Jacob, devising a plan so that they can manipulate and you know, get Iyasu's destiny. What they do, they glue hair onto his arms because I believe Isaac at this time could barely see, so he was using his other senses to figure out who was in front of him, right? So you know, he did that. It felt like Iyasu's hair. It felt, you know, had all the garments. You know, he was touching. He was like, huh. You know what I'm saying? This is why I say trust your intuition, because if he trusted his intuition, he would have never got duped. But because he had a suspicion. That's what got me, is that he had a suspicion it wasn't Iyasu, but then I mean, he somehow fooled himself into thinking it was. He should have trusted in his intuition, right? And that's how Jacob ended up getting Iyasu's destiny. Iyasu, valid crash out, started chasing Jacob. You know what I'm saying? Lesson learned. So, right, if we understood that story on a deeper level, we'd understand it was destiny swapping, right? It was somebody else going through so many these elaborate schemes, right? Elaborate. I want you to understand, when people destiny swap with others, it has to be elaborate, because if you get caught with doing this stuff, right, it not only will, God will be very very much, karma will come through on that one. But like, if it hasn't really, it's not super known in our society, because people usually don't get caught destiny swapping, right? That's why I said it has to be an elaborate scheme. You have to scheme something that is so elaborate that you will never get caught, right? Now, that's what they think. That's what they think, okay? Because karma, right, is God's wrath, okay? We say karma, but in actuality, karma, God's wrath, same difference. It's just the law of cause and effect, right? Start all of it's connected. So I used to go to church like last year, and before that period. Okay, and always depends. You gotta also be careful, like, who you listen to as a pastor or a priest, or a bishop. Like, you gotta be paying attention to certain things they're saying, because as soon as you start talking about like God being some hateful creature, and or like this angry God, like this very controlling and demeaning, like, once you start talking about God like that and you stop talking about God like love, I don't want to hear it no more. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear it, because now you're just spreading lies. Right? Now you're spreading lies. I don't know who you serve, but my God is pure love. And that's it. All right. Don't think pure love don't come with a hurricane. All right. Don't think it don't come with a storm, okay? Greek gods are deities under God. So they're people who were appointed powers by the Most High. Right? Just like archangels. Most deities get their power from the Most High. Right? Unless they're a dark being, then they're getting their source somewhere else. And it's not light. Right? So yeah. I don't mind green cogs. They're pretty cool. Oh, you'd be right. Sorry, my spirit guides were saying I have a few Greek gods on my spiritual guidance team too. So, which makes sense. Which makes sense. Which makes sense. I have a lot of heavy hitters on my team from like all over the place. All my guys are literally from all over the place. Yeah, there's I get what you're saying though, because they have powers. Yeah, and those powers literally are just granted to them by the divine, you know? Um, truly. Because there's no being, there's no, I call them a deity, right? They're like, even though they're a god, they're like a demigod. You know what I'm saying? They're not the Most High. Okay, they're not the creator. Okay, nobody touches the creator. Right, the creator is the creator, because the creator is also the destroyer. Right, so the Most High can create and destroy energy. Nothing under the Most High can do that. Right. That's fine, Wyatt. As long as I can comprehend what it is you're trying to tell me, um, then I don't mind. You know what I'm saying? Now, if there was like, if it was like to the point where I couldn't comprehend the sentence, I just kind of, I'd be like, I don't know, you know, right? But since I can, it's okay. It doesn't matter, you know. Right. And today we're just vibing. I'm gonna go over to TikTok here in a little bit. But that's cool. Is it like the little like swiping thing on the keypad? I never done that. I don't like it. Like I've tried it and I was like, nah, cause then it doesn't spell the word how I want to. So I've just gotten better at typing. This one, yeah, they're all different. Right. You said you barely use TikTok. Yeah, that's okay. That's just one of the other platforms I have. Okay. Yeah. I used to like TikTok, right? Before 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 they nerfed it 5 million times in the last year. Okay, since they banned it for that 24-hour period, right? They've nerfed the abilities of TikTok so badly, like 5 million times. Promise you, there's like an update every 2 seconds. Okay, of them trying some new BS, trying to mess up the algorithm, trying to do all this stuff, and you're like, oh my goodness, stop touching the app. Just stop touching it. Yeah, YouTube does have a lot more. You get shorts and videos and lives. So I feel like it's like, you go to TikTok, you only get you can get some long videos. I think I think nowadays TikTok videos can be, if you upload a video, it can be an hour long. I don't quote me on that, but I think it can be pretty long nowadays. But it's like the way the app is set up, I wouldn't I wouldn't watch an hour long video on TikTok. Couldn't pay me. Um but you thought it was less hours than that. The ban, I could be exaggerating on the 24 hours. But it wasn't that, yeah, it wasn't that long. It was literally less than a day, where they made that threat and was like, oh yeah, but after that they literally just been nerfing it this entire time. It's so much worse than it was back then. I liked it before because it was the first worldwide news outlet with the least amount of censoring, and you can see everything going around worldwide. Everyone could see what was going on, and it was really cool. But now it's just like Instagram. I don't like Instagram. I don't like Meta. Do I still use Meta? I don't trust Meta because Meta is the type, you try to post spiritual content on Meta stuff and Meta is like, oh, we cannot allow her to awaken souls back to the divine. Just hide that under the rug. Okay, seriously. But they can't do that for long because I be calling judgment on these apps, y'all. On the people that run these apps, you best believe these CEOs, whoever's running the app, I don't care. I will call judgment on them. I will have the Lord bring down some kind of judgment on them for trying to stop us from spreading the message, right? Like, of world peace. Like, you're literally trying to interfere with me spreading a message of world peace and building a community, building a world of utopia for us all. Who's in the wrong here? Who's in the wrong? Okay, so punishment. Right. Oh, thank you. He said, and you never tried Insta? Yeah, because Insta really isn't all that in a bag of chips, right? It's really not, okay? Especially since Meta took over. It's really not. It's nothing. It's like X. If you I've never tried X or Twitter, but it's like that basically. Yeah, I don't know. What do you mean? So not the other way around, like not to judge someone. Well, no, in judgment, right? When we call judgment on somebody, right? We are asking for God to bring justice to the situation. Yeah. So basically, it's just calling justice to the situation. But we do say we do say judgment immediately. Okay, we go judgment immediately, like because but you would have to know a little bit more about alchemy, right? And you would have to understand return to sender, and being able to, yeah, you would have to know a few things about that to understand why we say judgment immediately, right? It's on their intentions. 555, right? That's an angel number. So literally, right, we are asking God to look into this situation, and if this person, their intentions were impure, their intentions were evil or wicked, and they were plotting somebody's demise or just doing just nefarious actions and behaviors, we're asking God to bring justice upon them, okay, so that they receive the justice, and that you get justice for the situation. So that's why we do it in the spiritual community, okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm always calling judgment on TikTok because TikTok tries to play with me the most. I call judgment on YouTube, right? I call judgment on Instagram. I don't care. I will call judgment, and the justice card was kind of come out. Look, Spirit is like, yeah, and they'll get their justice. That's why they don't. What was it? That one day TikTok tried to say I was spreading misinformation on the live, and all we were talking, I was just throwing out speculation, by the way. I was just saying how the Jeffrey Epstein files won't be released because of who is on the list. These very high elites who aren't in everyday media, just with the commoners, apparently, is how they would see it, right? They don't mess with us, right? So these kind of people are on the list. Sex traffickers are on the list. People who are into human trafficking, slave trade, these kind of people are on that list. Okay, so that's my speculation as to why they won't release it. Right? And TikTok tried to be like, oh no, that's misinformation. How did the Jeffrey Epstein files get released? Do you know something I don't know, TikTok? Is that what you're trying to say? And I called judgment immediately and said God was gonna handle it. And guess what? After appealing it, they approved my appeal. Right? Not once, but twice. Because the first time I tried to get the appeal, it approved, but it didn't take the restrictions off. So I appealed it again. It approved, and then it took the restrictions off. So I was like, don't try to play in my face, TikTok. You guys attack small content creators, especially spiritualists who are small content creators, and think you're get away with it. What is my favorite social media app? I don't know, because I don't want to give none of them a big head. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like giving any of them a big head. And thinking that, you know, they have some one up on me. Oh, well, we're your favorite, so no, still judgment. Okay. I don't want to give none of them a big head. They can all deal with me just not trusting them. Okay. Oh, this is the card I was telling you guys about earlier when I said my Queen of Swords and my King of Swords has God Shiva in it, right? Just at the top there. So I know my spirit guides are talking, right, with some communication here. Period. Oh. That's a good start though. 18. I'm pretty sure if you like just restart and you'll start getting that traction back, you know? Oh, thank you. Yes. This is one of my first decks. Second, yeah, this is my second ever tarot deck. And then my first ever tarot deck is in my drawer. I'm not going to go get it though. But yeah. That's awesome. I think, what was it? I started this channel on YouTube in 2021 and I stopped, right? Just a lot of things going on in my spiritual journey that, I just couldn't continue the channel, right? Like, uh, I don't tell a lot of people like my entire life story. I mean, I'm willing to share it more and more. But like a lot of people think, it's egotistical to say that people prey on your downfall. But if people are literally trying to destiny swap with you or literally trying to harvest your energy, steal your energy so that they can make their lives better, right? How do I explain that to you without it sounding crazy? You know what I'm saying? How can I explain that? I had some of the closest people to me be my biggest haters. How do I explain that to you without it sounding like, egotistical or like, oh, my haters, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do I explain that? Because there's no other way to really explain most of my life. You know what I'm saying? Because tell you, the energy that I hold in me, like, it literally was showing itself before I came out my mama womb. Okay, when I tell you my mom was the most goofiest, smiling, like laughing all the time. Her laugh was contagious type of thing when I was in her belly, right? And I'm this very super silly, goofy person too. Like, I can be serious when I need to, but you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, I know the energy that I hold was always divine from the moment I stepped onto this planet, from the moment I was in my mother's womb, right? When my soul entered this realm. Like I've already know it was clocked by the government. Like, some people really think that X-Men was just a movie. It was not just a movie, okay? They will take anyone who has special abilities and gifts and use them on their side. They're actually trying to create soldiers that have special abilities and gifts so they can wage spiritual warfare on their own people. Think about this. The CIA has documentation on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when I try to explain this to people and, it sounds crazy and yeah, the world is kind of harsh. It's all a lesson, but it's like, it's because not a lot of people are aware of this kind of stuff, right? That's why it goes unnoticed. That's why so many people get away with destiny swapping, right? Because these kind of things, we don't widely accept them, right? If we all understood that, it should definitely be illegal to try to swap destinies with somebody. Like, did you really forget who your soul was? You know what I'm saying? You forgot who your soul was, and now you're trying to take another soul's destiny. That's so messed up. Like, figure out who you are first before you try to take somebody else's destiny. You know what I'm saying? God has a plan for you on this planet. Everybody has a purpose, but if you out here trying to take other people's purposes, you know what I'm saying? All you're doing is racking up karma, and karma don't have to get you this lifetime. Karma does not have to get you this lifetime. Karma can wait until your 10th lifetime to be like, all right, so you remember when you took Johnny's destiny and you was that big pop star and everything, and you got millions and millions of dollars, you had all the HO3s, you know what I'm saying? You was doing all those substances you shouldn't have been doing, you know what I'm saying? You was living the rock star life. You was good, you had it good that lifetime. You remember that? You know what I'm saying? You remember that? Okay, so you also remember how that was supposed to be Johnny's life, right? And when Johnny was gonna be the rock star, it was actually gonna be something beautiful. He was gonna change the world with his music, but with your music, it wasn't really that good. You know what I'm saying? You didn't really change the world. You just added more trash to trash. So yeah, I had to come back for that clap back this lifetime. You know know, that's how karma works. You know what I'm saying? Karma is literally so harsh. Literally, like you remember when, you know, karma, like y'all think some people be like, oh, you know, women will always hold a grudge. Nobody holds a grudge like karma. Nobody holds a grudge like karma. Promise you, after a few years, I probably forget what I'm mad about. You know what I'm saying? But karma don't forget. Oh, excuse me. Hold on, y'all. I mean, yeah. Like karma don't care. If you want a whole new lifetime, you're not even that person that you was, you know, and you know, but you signed a spiritual contract. Your soul signed a contract saying you were responsible for every deed and action that you took on this planet. So you would have to eventually pay it back if you did something that you like. You saw it, you read the fine print before you got down here. Okay, your ancestors, your spirit guides explained the entire menagerie, everything that was gonna happen on planet Earth before you got down here. Okay, they made sure you knew. And if you still came down here and you allowed this world to eat you whole, okay, and you allowed the world to mold you into something that you were never supposed to become, that is still your fault. Like, you signed the contract. That is still your fault. Okay? Like, because it's karma. It's a karmatic. I call those karma children, right? Because they're karmic relationships. So if a parent is abusive to their child, it's because that child is that parent's karma. That parent, whatever that parent was out there doing, that child is that parent's karma. Okay, it's very sad when there's a karmic baby instead of a divine baby, right? And a divine baby is when two soulmates come together and they have a child versus two karmics coming together and having a child. There's a lot of karmic babies. I'm gonna let you know right now, there's more karmic babies on this planet than there are soul divine babies on this planet. Like, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean you're not supposed to be here. It means you're supposed to be here, but for some children, unfortunately, they are their parents' karma. Okay, because they was out here doing whatever they was not supposed to be doing, and God was like, "All right." Sad. I would say it's more sad, right? Because it's not the child's fault. You know what I'm saying? That soul just got to this planet. It's not their fault that, but the lessons that they need to learn in that situation is needed for them to reach their own destiny, right? So even though they're their parents' karma, the lessons that they're learning in that environment, right, is what is supposed to make them stronger and help them to make it for their destiny timeline. However, what ends up happening is they get stuck in the same karmic cycles their parents were in. So it's just generational curses back to back to back to back to back type of thing. It's sad. It's sad. And it's honestly really often on this planet. It's like it's a common thing. Okay, it's common theme or on this planet. Okay, there's not a lot of union babies. Okay, yeah, especially if you know anybody who got like a toxic baby mama or a toxic baby daddy, right? That's a karmic relationship and that's a karmic child they got, right? So now that baby daddy and baby mama is they stuck with each other because they have a child together, right? So that child is their karma. Not saying it's not a blessing, it's just a karma child. So a divine baby is when two soulmates have a child. So when you end up with your ordained soulmate, so when God brings in somebody who you're meant to spend your life with, not just somebody random, when God picks the person that you are supposed to that's supposed to be your spouse, you're supposed to marry and have children with, right? When that happens and you guys actually, stick to that and you have children, right? Those are union babies or divine babies, right? Usually they are going to be a little higher ranked in spirituality, right? Their souls are going to be a little higher ranked in divine. Okay, so these we when I say when you're talking about a divine baby, you could be we could be start pulling angels, right, fairies. We could start pulling higher divine beings into a reincarnation human child once you have a divine connection, right? So yeah, you don't have to be abused, you know what I'm saying, or anything like that, but there still were traumatic experiences that you've had to go through in order to be where you're at to this day. Whether it, you know, not everybody's traumatic experiences are the same, and no one's cancels out anybody else's, right? So whatever it is you had to go through to be here today, yeah, yeah. No, it's definitely sad that they get abused. And like my ex children, right, I could tell they were karmic babies, just because of the fact that how him and his baby mama interacted with one another, right, and then how she treated her children, which was really poorly, uh, to the point where I do believe CPS should be involved. It's just not my place anymore, so I can't do anything there. Okay, and CPS has gotten involved in the past in that situation, and I don't know. So she play her cards well. Apparently, she can act all nice in somebody's face, but when she behind closed doors, it's a different story. Okay, right. So and that's it's sad. You're the youngest. Yeah, I get you. Now, I'm the oldest, so right. Yeah, but like there's certain things, you know, like that I went through. Even though like my parents, loved each other, and it wasn't until my dad went to Iraq and Afghanistan, that their relationship became estranged because of, PTSD, because of survivor's guilt, right? Because of those mentally altering changes, like those big mental alters in his brain. Oh yeah, Canada would be awesome, but yeah, so literally, so that those kind of things, so I experienced certain things that not everybody else would have experienced, right? So all of our experiences are different in some kind of way, but a divine union child is only between soulmates, okay? And those are bringing in where we start reincarnating more angels, where we start, like, you know what I'm saying, where we are bringing highly ranked divine beings onto earth, right? Because at this time, a lot of divinely um ranked beings were purposely put here, right? Not because humanity was out here, everybody was meeting their soulmate type of thing. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like it's not because like boom, okay, these people soulmates, 144,000 couples decided, you know what I'm saying, they were gonna meet their soulmate. It wasn't that at all, right? God was like, oh, most definitely, I love that. I really hope you get to go meet your friends in Canada. That'd be awesome for you. But yeah, so literally it was just with the way the planet was going. um the YouTube gear thing work. What are you referring to? I'm still learning how to use YouTube Live and all the features and stuff. So this is a learning experience for me too. Just like TikTok is still a learning experience for me. Like even though I so like when you chat in a live, there's a gear besides your user. So what does that mean? Like near like a like the gear, you mean like a gear like the settings gear or something? because I'm not really sure. I have this like thing that says chat filter, community moderation. Oh, it might be a mod. Yeah, it might. That's. It could just be that. It could be a moderator thing. If you have a gear, then you would have certain permissions to do certain things on for the channel. You know, so yeah, yep, I can. Yep, I'm waiting to do stuff like that until we have, you know, a certain amount of family members. I believe me and God said fit 5,000. So until we're on at 5,000, TikTok and YouTube included, like I'm really not gonna get a lot of moderators, right? TikTok, we already have one, but that's because she was divinely guided to us, and I, you know, had to make that connection, right? So, no, I get you. Yeah, I'm still learning for YouTube, right? It's still like there's a bunch of buttons here that I'm like I don't I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna be here learning. You know what I'm saying? Okay, that's what we do. We grow, learn, and evolve here. Okay, all right. It's my. I want to make sure you grow, you learn, you evolve. All right, you get the messages you need. Period. That's great. Like I honestly just when I pick my mods, it's gonna be people who stand for the same mission as I do, right? And then also are gonna make sure that the love and the peace remain into the chat, right? Because once we start having more family members join us, I don't want it to be chaotic. I don't like chaos. Um, I get you. Yeah. I don't really watch lives and stuff like that anymore. Right? Like, I used to. But if I was on one live, unless they like were boring, like if I was on there for a minute and I'm like, okay, we're not talking about anything anymore. Okay, so I'm gonna go over here. Like usually if it's like debates and stuff, like if I'm watching like some streamer debating random people like on TikTok, like they'll bring people, like they have a multi-guest function on TikTok, and so that you'll be able to bring up a guest from the live onto your live on TikTok, and they'll be doing that, and they'll have debates about politics and stuff like that, and I watch that, and eventually it gets boring because the people that come up there, I don't know if they're illiterate or what's going on, but I just can't keep watching and injecting that and consuming that. So then I have to go to a different live. It's only when it's like things like that where I'm like, I'm not interested anymore. Okay, but like usually I'll stick to that same live until the end, right? Because I don't know, I don't like just swiping through multiple lives. It's like if I find an interesting one, I want to be there as long as possible and support and be like, yeah. But if the debate ones, sometimes, the debates can be good for like a good 2 hours, and then all of a sudden it's just some troll on there, and you're like, oh my goodness, they're just trolling. They don't know anything. So it's like, yeah, I don't want to watch this no more. Thank you, Wyatt. Yes, I just do me, do what makes my soul happy, and when you get back to creating your channel and everything, that's what I'm gonna encourage you to do. Do what makes your soul happy. Okay. If you want to talk about more than just FNAF, go for it. I don't think anybody should be restricting to a box. Like I don't know. I feel like to me, a niche feels like a box. Like when people are like, "What's your niche?" I'm like, "Oh no, a box." I don't have one. Okay, we don't like I don't know what you're talking about. Okay? Right? Like, I'm sharing all the wisdom and knowledge that I have learned in the last 6 years, and I plan on doing this until I'm gray haired, okay? And I mean fully gray haired, y'all. Wow, look at this. Do you single hair that is gray? Now you don't. Okay, okay, so when I'm fully gray haired, that's when I will put up the content creation, okay, and fully focus on the spiritual realm. I will no longer be partaking in the physical realm. I will be astral projecting out of this body, leaving a small tether to my main vessel, and going and living my best life in the ethers and other dimensions. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do, because as this vessel is perishing, my soul is still young. So I'm gonna go live my best life as a soul, you know? That's what I'm gonna do on some Spirit's so funny. On some shaman and oh my goodness, some Buddhist stuff. For real. Okay, the shamans love it. Forest. And okay. 99 nights in the forest? Like somebody's spending the nights in the forest? Okay, well Wyatt, I'm about to go over and head over to TikTok. Okay, I hope to see you again when I go live next time, okay? If you have anything that you would like to discuss or add to our community page regarding, or ever have any questions, you can always post something to the community page. You do have to subscribe. I believe it's for 24 hours, and then you can post anything on there, right? Just keep it within the same genre. It could be like, it could be funny stuff too, but like, let's just keep it in the spiritual realm, and like you could talk about religion too and different topics, right? So yes, you have a blessed day, Wyatt. Okay, you guys all have access to do that, right? I leave that open because it's a community page, you know what I'm saying? It's not just supposed to be me posting on it, right? I want you guys posting on it too. I want you guys using it, okay? Alrighty, guys. All right, so I'm gonna go over onto TikTok now. If I won't be seeing you over on TikTok, I hope you guys have a blessed day. All right, and remember, we speak love, justice, and peace. All right, I'll see y'all next time. Boop. If I press the